Hello, family and friends. Welcome to Laclede Relics. I'm your host and historian, Eric Tudor. Sunday evening, 9:30 p.m., October 20th, 2024, Lebanon received a massive blow to our downtown history. The iconic three-story brick structure known as the Allen Building at 200 East Commercial, formerly the H.D. Lee Building and originally the Rice Stix Building, went up in flames. Now, my editor and producer, Ryan Shear, and I unexpectedly ran into each other outside the post office, just across the street that same night. Like many, we arrived to survey the damage, but more so the well-being of our own businesses and buildings. With our recording studio and offices being directly across the street for Laclede Relics, and my wife's family business, Falcon Floor Covering, just down the street. We had an eerie yet mesmerizing opportunity to film up close, yet safely, on the sidewalk of Falcon Floor Covering, which has its own rich history. I leaned over to Ryan and said, "We have to do a special Relics Remembers episode on this horrific event." Now, both of us were feeling the heat and the flames from over a half a block away. He turned and looked at me and he nodded. "Let's do it." We turn back the pages of Lebanon's history, and after the coming of the railroad, Dr. James A. McCombs had constructed his home on that exact site, long before it was known as the Rice Stix Building. Here's an 1886 map showing the footprint of the home where he resided, as well as a mention of this in the application for the National Register of Historic Places, which was granted in 2019. The McCombs home was moved to the end of Harwood Avenue, near the intersection of Washington, where the old Kinderhook Library once stood and today is known as Allen and Rector Law Firm. Fast forward to the early 1920s. A growing garment manufacturing company called the Rice Stix Dry Goods Company. They originated in Memphis, Tennessee, while they had recently moved to St. Louis, becoming the largest business in that city of the time. The company gets its name from two of the three owners, Henry Rice and William Stix. Quick-thinking and money-minded business leaders of Lebanon seized the potential opportunity of attracting this much-needed business to our little town of Lebanon. Rice Stix was indeed interested in our little small town, so a pair of their board members, E. Murphy, a production manager, and E. Julius Bomier, the chief engineer of the company, hopped on the Frisco and made the trip here to Lebanon. While they were touring our city, they were shown several sites, picking one of up to 4 that were offered. While the Rice Stix folks were here, they were wined and dined in true Lebanon fashion at the Laclede Hotel, where they were staying just a block west on Commercial. That's at the intersection of Commercial and Jefferson on the railroad track side. Works of discussion and planning between the two parties quickly ensued, with Rice Stix requesting a 60 by 100-foot building, a 2-story structure with a basement. It had to have strong oak timber construction with brick capable to support a possible third-floor expansion. It was estimated the cost to Lebanon would be around $22,000, in which Lebanon would have the responsibility to supply. On Friday, March 23, 1923, it made front-page news in the Laclede County Republican. Now Lebanon was assured of getting the factory, and word of the expansion of the third floor, and later still to come, an additional addition east, would all come to be. Now, Lebanon had already raised approximately $20,000 of the new expanded building budget, now close to $30,000, fighting hard to secure these jobs for Laclede County. Another $10,000 was laid as a challenge to the Lebanon Chamber of Commerce Finance Committee. Now, upon the third expansion, as plans continued to evolve and the price continued to go up, the Rice Stix Company would pay for the balance, now soaring upwards to $55,000. Now, it was reported that the factory would pay out $250,000 annually for the workforce, which would be focused primarily on women. Keep in mind, this was in 1924, so to put that in perspective, that's approximately $2.6 million today in paid out. And just like that, Laclede County had a boom in our economic growth, necessary for any small community. And with targeting primarily women's workforce, it ushered a local women's rights movement of sorts. It has been said the Rice Stix Building literally saved Lebanon from becoming one of the many now ghost towns erased by the Great Depression. President Roosevelt's Code of Industry was first adopted by Lebanon's Rice Stick plant number 15. Employees here would enjoy working Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., have an entire 1-hour lunch, and then return to work 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. In performing this, the raised minimum of 30 cents per hour would be paid. This would be at a rate of $12 for a 40-hour work week. The coming of the Rice Stix Dry Goods Company, nestled along the Frisco Railroad, was indeed a blessing for Laclede County. We'd survived the Great Depression. However, a tragic accident in 1953 brought Lebanon to its knees. A 10-year-old little boy by the name of Larry Knight came by the bustling Rice Stix factory one afternoon, hoping to get a glimpse of his mother who was working inside. Apparently, the young boy entered the building and was struck by an elevator counterbalance on that horrific afternoon of August 14, 1953. Now, this may seem odd, but at that time several children came to work with their mothers and grandmothers, and they would hang out in designated areas until school time, where they would walk to school. It was also custom for children and other family members to come by and visit employees during their lunch hour. Many of those employees crossed the street to grab a sandwich at Kroger's store, which is directly across from the post office. The Rice Stix factory remained Lebanon's largest factory and employer until 1957. At this time, Reliance Manufacturing acquired the building. Now, a few years later, we have this happier image of a 1959 downtown Christmas parade here in Lebanon, featured in the Lebanon Daily Record. There in the background, you can see the Rice Stix Building among the festive onlookers. Now, the structure went through several expansions, as previously stated. Here's a diagram showing some of those stages with the original 1924 building, the 1937 addition, and then the 1949 to 1955 later additions on the back side. Then in November 1961, the Reliance Company would be replaced by what many remember becoming the H.D. Lee Company, where they thrived in this initial location for many years, later moving to what's called the Lebcut Building, now Copeland's warehouse and some of their offices built on the outer road of I-44. After H.D. Lee pulled out of the former Rice Stix Building in 1990, it was taken over by the Lebanon Ready. That's a city organization who had their offices actually there in the structure. Their goal was to keep some form of business alive at the location, but they met a lot of obstacles as the ravages of time had not been gentle. It was also difficult to find a business or businesses that could look beyond somewhat of an outdated building. Now, throughout the next decades, the building had been used for various businesses and events. Dalco Marine rented the basement for storage and manufacturing for several years, being one of the latest in the 1990s. Local music group Dawson Hollow shot part of a music video there, and studio photographers have shot senior pictures against the once majestic old brick and commercial accented backdrops. Even law enforcement training has been done and conducted inside. KY3TV of Springfield kept a live camera on the rooftop for many years. In 2004, the official building's name was changed to the Allen Building in honor of Stanley Bud Allen, who served as our mayor here in Lebanon from 1996 to 2008. The building site was added to the Missouri Historic Register in 2019, and with a building plaque attached for the dedication ceremony. Luckily, this plaque was saved during the demolition process. In November of 2002, Capstone announced plans to renovate the entire building, featuring ground floor retail stores and the upper second and third floors as loft-style rental apartments or condos. However, failing due to constraints and investments necessary, the old lady never got to see that reincarnation. I truly wish it could have played out differently, but alas, the grand old lady gave us 100 years. She'd grown tired and weak. She carried us through the Great Depression and kept Lebanon alive, helping hundreds, if not thousands, to feed and care for their families. She's been strong for us all these years, and now we must be strong by preserving her legacy. May she be like a phoenix, rising from the flames, not forgotten, but the property preserved in some manner in a new and exciting chapter for Lebanon in the downtown district. Thanks everyone for watching and being a part of this journey with us. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. That really helps us out to promote our work here. Drop what you've learned today in the comments. Got a particular topic you'd like considered on a future episode? Feel free to let us know. Until next time, I'm your host and historian, Eric Tudor, along with my editor extraordinaire and producer, Ryan Shear. Together we invite you on another trip down memory lane that you can only find on Laclede Relics.